Hey, hey, hey. Hello. Hey, guys. Welcome back. It has been, damn, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you. I am going to be completely honest. I've been avoiding YouTube. Um, the YouTube streets have been a shit show, and I just kind of gave me the ick. And so I was just like doing my research and working. I've been working a lot. Um, and just kind of doing my own thing. I've started walking a lot more, which is crazy. Um, Usually, well, especially because it's cold here. So in Minnesota, I don't even know what the temperature is right now. Let me check. It's currently 37 degrees, but it's been pretty much. Dexter's a little too chunky to go as far as I walk. I've been trying to walk at least 2 miles a day. On the weekends when I have more time, I usually try to go at least 4. Hey, Allie. But hey, my 3 sons. It's not too bad though. And I'm being born and raised here. I still just go out with a sweatshirt on most of the time. I love fishing, Mark. It's good fishing. Hi, full bassin. All right. So I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, hi, mom. Hi, Dexter. She said, I'm not going to listen, but uh, say hi to us before you start. So I did. No, no, Merp. I need to at least be getting a tan when I'm fishing. But my dad won't take me fishing with him anymore because he says I talk too much. Surprising. I know. Um, yeah, I love fishing. Hey, so done with it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay over here in my little corner. I finally caught one of Allie's lives today. So if you guys don't, please go follow. I'm sure everyone does, but Alex Erickson, she's fantastic. Teresa's been killing it over on criminality. I don't know, some of you guys saw the cups, the tumblers that Christy sent. Well, she sent them both to me, but one's for T and one's for me. Um, they're insane. I posted them on my community post, and she just knows how much I appreciate her and everything. Um, but yeah, yeah, it's been a. Oh, and then you can't forget the Decipher podcast. Tia and LFT are some of my favorite people. And once I get a link, which hopefully if one of them are listening, they did get the I think it's an Amazon list. I think the wish list for Rachel Morin's kids, um, for just their life essentials. If I'm being completely honest, like yes, Christmas, birthdays, stuff like that. But um, it's nice because it's not money, so you don't have to worry about if you're giving money to somewhere else or anything like that. It's just a list, and you can buy these kids the items that they need after losing their mom. So okay, there's LFT right there. LT, send me the link so I can post it in chat too at some point. Um, okay, what else? Trying to think if there's anything else. There is going to be a special on the Madeline Kingsbury case. I believe it airs on November 16th, so next week. I will post a community post when it is live. KTTC did an interview. Um, Katie was a part of it, and I'm so proud of her every day. I ugh, the strength that she shows with everything that she has been through and everything like that. It's just I'm so proud of her. Um, hey Sally Mae, welcome in. Hey Red Eye. So now that all of the pleasantries and updates, I'm sure I forgot something. Um, but now that that is all out there, let's get into the case. So I will say there's not a ton of information on this case, but the reason why I chose to do it now is because hi Quinny. Um is because Aaron Pennington, who is accused of murdering Brienne Breezy Pennington, is still a fugitive. He is still out there. There are a lot of oh, hi Lisa, thank you so much. Thank you for gifting a membership. I love that. Thank you. Once again, guys, once the membership stuff starts going, YouTube does it monthly. So there's like you get payments once a month for it. I'm going to be putting memberships towards obviously StreamYard stuff like that. But then any extra we will be donating to a place of our choice. So wherever anyone else wants to. This is not my full-time job. I don't need money from this. It's only going to go to help others in situations like this. So um but as I was saying, yes, Aaron is still a fugitive. He is still out there. Um he was the husband of Breanne Breezy Pennington. Oh, Red Eye, thank you so much. That's so sweet. Thank you. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. Um, so I'm trying to think of what else. He's still out there, there in the Massachusetts area. I will bring up the Google Maps to kind of give you guys the whereabouts of where everything took place once I tell you guys the actual series of events. But it wouldn't be me talking about a case without me allowing you guys to get to know our victim in this case. And I hate that I have to say victim. You guys will also see that I use my purple background today. Um, Purple is the domestic violence awareness color. And this is unfortunately another DV situation. And you guys I will say, I saw Aaron Pennington's face quite a bit. I just never had actually looked into the story. And it's insane to me because there really is a lot. Brienne was incredible. I've been looking up on, Facebook, um, different websites where family members and friends have done interviews, and there's just so much about her. Hi, Juju B, welcome in. Um, she was such an incredible person. Yes, Sally Mae, I will get into that. Yes, I want to tell you a little bit more about Brienne and who she was as a person, the kind of impact that she left, and then I will get into the night of her untimely death, and then I will be giving you guys all of the information regarding the wanted fugitive Aaron Pennington, who is the person behind this. But hi T, hi True Crime Crazy. And we will be getting into that part, yes. But I want to make sure that we can dedicate at least the first half of this to Brienne. She went by Breezy Pennington. Just so that you guys have the ability to get to know her. So, let me grab. All right. Everything wants to slow down because, of course, it does. All right. So, I'm going to show you guys here. Once again, these are overlays. It's just so much easier. Sometimes you even break the leeches in half too, Mark. At least we do. This is Breanne Breezy Pennington. I am going to continue to tell you guys about her. She is a mother of 4. She was married to Aaron Pennington, and according to police, was killed at his hand. And this all happened actually the day after my birthday, October 22nd of this year. So this is recent. Aaron Pennington is still on the loose. He is still a fugitive. There's still manhunt for him. Yeah, Merp. Hey, Lucia. So, hang on, let me turn that on so I can read. So these are all the pictures of her, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about her as a person. So this is Breanne Breezy Pennington. Her birthday was actually October 27th, 1992. She was born in Tacoma, Washington. Um, Her parents are Robert V. Hull and Elizabeth A. Hull. So her maiden name is Hull. Um, and I'm trying to, my notes are all over the place. It's my first time back in a little bit. So, um, but she is originally from Riverside, California. So she was born in Tacoma, Washington, but that's the only reason why Tacoma or Washington is in this is just because she was born there. So after that, she moved and ends up graduating from Riverside High School. She attended Riverside Community College, all located in Riverside, California. Um, Eventually, okay, LFT, no problem. Eventually, she meets Aaron there in California, I believe, based on what I've been able to see. I haven't been able to verify it, but that's kind of where it trended towards. Hey, Cray Cray. And eventually, they end up moving. We do find out later on when I tell, just the little facts regarding Aaron Pennington that he was enlisted. I want to say, hang on, let me see. He's in the Air Force. So he was enlisted and was in a few different places. He was in Japan at one time. He was here. He was there. He was in Arizona. Then he was not. And I'll get more specifics into that as well because we'll go over his LinkedIn page. But yeah, they end up meeting. Somehow they end up in Gardner, Massachusetts. So let us tell you guys now a little bit more about who Brienne was growing up. There's been, like I said, a few interviews with family and friends, and she was known to be a very strong spirit, a mind of her own. She had an opinion she was going to tell you, but not in like a rude way, just in like she was an honest person type of way. Um, and she was very, very intelligent. She made you feel like you were the most important person in the room when she was talking to you, regardless of the conversation, regardless of what else was happening. She was just the type of person that you knew that she was truly listening to what you were saying when you were talking to her. Um, she was known as being vibrant, kind, and an incredible mother. Yes, so done with it. So she is the mother to 4 children. I'm not going to be sharing their names or photos, but she, at the time of her death, um, had 4 kids, age 2, age 5, age 7, and age 9. Her Facebook page also has a lot of photos of her and her kids, including one of her older children, who's a daughter. And in the picture, it said something like, "I love when people tell us that we look alike. It's the most special thing to me," or something along those lines. And it was heartbreaking now to know that there are these 4 children that no longer have a mom, and not only that, but their father is the one that did this, potentially, allegedly, according to the arrest affidavit, which we also will go over. But he's also still on the run. So not only do they have to be like, crap, like the potential for dad killing mom is there, but they also don't know where he is. So there's got to be an additional fear added on to that, in my opinion. Hey, Mark, welcome in. Yeah, she was beautiful. She really was. Okay, let's see. She did specify that what she told others was that motherhood was her profession. She took it very seriously. She wanted to make sure that her kids were cared for and loved, and that when they would look back at their childhood, that they would say that they had the best childhood, but at the same time were really good people, and that was something that was really important to her. I know, so done with it. It's terrible. It's horrific. Um, okay, let's see. Nope, not that one. Hang on. Where is my Well, I have a quote from her aunt. So you guys may also be wondering why she has the nickname of Breezy, and this was something that a lot of people asked, obviously, since this has happened, because a lot of her friends do refer to her just as Breezy Pennington. So you guys may have just heard Breezy Pennington versus Brienne or Brienne Breezy Pennington. Um, there's the there's reasoning behind it. So the nickname came from her love of riding horses, which is something that she grew up doing from a very young age. She was part of 4-H growing up. She took pride in showing her horses. Um, and this was a direct quote from her aunt. There was a quote on one of the internet websites that I have, which everything is linked in the description down below, guys. But there was a quote and it said, "She had long blonde hair as a child, and she would ride her horse running through the neighborhood, and that hair would go flying in the wind. There she goes, there's Breezy." And that's how her Aunt Brenda Hull had kind of stated was the reason that she was nicknamed Breezy, and it stuck. Um, so other than the horses, though, she really excelled in science. She loved to sing. She was in both school and church choir. Um, let's see. All right. So I'm also going to say in that same interview with her aunt did state that although Brienne was a stay-at-home mom and was focused as she stated, her profession as a mother, um, her aunt did say that she believed that once the kids were grown, that Brienne would probably want to go back to school. She said that she believed Breezy would go back to school and become a genetic counselor, a field she loved since she began breeding horses as a child. So this is also going to go into hey go bug. This is also going to go into her love of science, her love of horses, and having the ability to connect the two to be able to utilize it in a profession after her first profession of kid raising these kids was over, she could take that next step. And that was something that she believed she always was probably going to do. Hi, Andrew. All right. So now we're going to get to a little bit more of her current life. So as she got older, she really loved doing makeup. So um, not only did she love doing makeup on herself, but she loved doing makeup on others. And it was a passion of hers. And there are quite a few photos of her with different makeup looks, and she was very talented at it, um, which is very hard. So if anyone has done makeup knows that it's definitely a skill, and the fact that she was as good as she was is impressive, right, Mark? Um, she also, with her children, she raised exotic chickens in her yard. But she still said that her biggest love was being a mother to her children. Like I told you guys at the beginning, ages 2, 5, 7, and 9. Um, she said taking care of her family, going on walks, spending every second with them was her favorite part of every day. Um, and so, yeah, just as we go through this, remember that Brienne was an incredible person who did not deserve to have any of this happen to her. And Just remembering who she was and not what happened to her. So remember who she was and not necessarily what happened to her, if that makes sense. So now we are going to get into her relationship with Aaron. So this is a picture of Brienne or Breezy and Aaron. Um, Aaron first publicly posted a photo of Brienne on April 16th, 2013. And it literally was just a picture of her and it said, the hottest girlfriend was the quote under it. Hey, Rody gal. And yeah, so that was pretty much it. But then some point in that same year, so I don't know if they'd just been dating and he just didn't update his Facebook a lot or however that works. They end up actually being uh married near July of 2013 based on Facebook photos and such. So based on the Facebook photos, they were married sometime near July of 2013. We then have them giving birth to their first child in spring of 2014. Oh, I've missed you too, Delana. And all of this is only known because it's being posted on Facebook, um, at least to the public. Obviously, their families and everyone knew about it. But hi, Candace. So now, mostly all the information regarding their relationship, like I said, was found via social media and LinkedIn. So to get to kind of the point where we are at today, unfortunately, I do have to tell you a little bit about Aaron, um, and how, ugh, how who he is to get to the point that we're at today, where he is currently on the run for the murder of Brienne, Breezy. All right. Let's see. So we'll get there. I'm going to throw this picture up there. So this, which I do have the better picture of it. This is Aaron. Have any of you guys seen his mugshot before? I'm just curious if you guys have seen, which I'm pretty sure that's his driver's license photo, but they've been using it as like the mugshot for all of the wanted posters. But have any of you guys seen that picture on the left before, whether it be on social media or whatever? I'm just curious because I remember seeing it in a few places, whether that be Twitter or other places. But hey, Tomboy Charm. Oh, really? That's crazy, Whoopi. All right, so I'm going to bring up his LinkedIn page. And we will go over, just because I think there could be an importance into this. I don't know if it holds a ton of it, but I do think it's relevant enough to share with you guys. I know. And I think so done with it. I think that's the scariest part too, is because you're right, he doesn't. He doesn't look like it. But when we read the arrest affidavit that they have out for him, um like the premeditation that went into this is insane. So this is his LinkedIn page. Make sure you guys can see it. Okay, you can. And then everyone that messages on LinkedIn. I don't go on my LinkedIn, just to let you guys know. So you guys can add me, but I'm not going to do anything with it. So he says here that he was into aerospace. So if you guys, we can read through this a little bit, but it says, I found my passion in the most unlikely of places, the US Air Force. I am transitioning Air Force aircraft mechanic and enthusiast with an active secret clearance. who has enjoyed over 6 years of ensuring the airworthiness of planes by working in various roles on flight lines and in the hangar. My love for aerospace and flight has pushed me to attain knowledge and hands on experience in many different areas, all of which are essential to keeping our planes in the air and the men and women in them safe. I feel a strong sense of responsibility for the people whose lives depend on the quality of my work. To ensure this level of quality, I've taken any and all opportunities to enhance my knowledge and hone my craft. My experience in aircraft airworthiness includes, but is not limited to, technical publication and data organization, where I was responsible for maintaining and ensuring the accuracy of the manuals used to repair various aircraft systems. Um, Sortie support, where I ensured the organizations of tools and materials used to troubleshoot and fix aircraft systems. I don't know, Sally Mae. I don't know. Yo no sé. Worked within the precision measurement equipment laboratory, where I ensured that all equipment was in precise working order. Was responsible for the training of junior personnel in all flight line activities that they would need to be proficient in to ensure the airworthiness of the aircraft. Um, Judgment free environments is what he tried. Is it really, will be? That's crazy. Well, if we don't understand the specifics, Mark Klein, it does all sound the same, but I'm sure it is different. But he says he has a Bachelor of Science in Aeronautics, and he was in pursuit of his MBA in aviation with a marketing concentration. Um, so it says here that he was obviously in the Air Force from May 2015, says to present. But okay, I'll bring it up in a minute, LFT. But based on like his Facebook profile and everything like that, it was showing that he was stationed in Japan for some time in the late 2010s. He was also stationed in Arizona, where in mid 2022 he transferred to the Air Force Reserves, and then on February 17th, 2023, he officially separated from this service altogether. So I'm not familiar with the terminology when it comes to all that. Um, I don't know if that means he was dishonorably discharged or what. I'm not exactly sure how that all plays out. But as of 2023, so February 17th of this year, he had separated from the service altogether, which is quoted. You guys can also see here the universities that he went to, his certifications, his skills, his honors and awards. He spoke English and Spanish. And yeah, so he was active Air Force for not quite 10 years, but just about. Hey, Christina. And there, based on what I saw, it doesn't look like he was in like active combat, but could have been in combat zones. But like I said, I'm not as up to date on the terminology for all of that, so I don't want to say anything wrong and, you know, get anyone mad at me or anything. So, yeah. But that is once again his LinkedIn page. So, let me grab, which like I said, guys, if you guys do want to look at this yourself, everything that I'm utilizing here today is linked in the description down below. Hi, Tia. All right, let's turn the page of my note. All right. So they had gotten married, like I said, 2013? Yes, July of 2013, give or take. So this is actually going to end up bringing us to the timeline of events that ends up with the life being taken of Breanne Breezy Pennington. This occurs in Gardner, Massachusetts on October 22nd, 2023. So this year, not that long ago. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, Bill. Makes sense. Um, but ooh, all right. So it is, I want to say it was Sunday, going off of the night that this all happened. So let me grab. Right. Actually, let's just go over the affidavit for his arrest because I think that gives us more of an exact timeline. But I will say there's not a ton of information when it comes to what exactly happened this day. Um, you guys will see the shorter timeline of all of this, but the specifics of it are not, yeah, exactly so done with it. Exactly. Okay, let me make sure I'm sharing this with you guys. I'm not because I have my overlay on, and now I'm sharing it with you guys. All right. So this is the the arrest for the murder. You guys will see here. This happened in Gardner, Massachusetts. Massachusetts. Defendant is Aaron Pennington. It is a warrant. Goes into all the things, but this is one count of murder. Says on October 22nd, 2023, did assault and beat Breanne Pennington with intent to murder such person, and by such assault and beating did kill and murder such person in violation of GL 2651. Um, so one thing I will say about this initial one is that he did not beat her. That is not what actually ended up occurring. So I'm wondering if that just is the official um terminology under the Massachusetts law for the murder warrant because it he did not beat her. That's not how he kills her. But that was one part that kind of made me raise my eyebrow and I was like, "Huh. Okay." But as we scroll down, we're going to get a little bit more information as we keep going. Um so this is pretty much just the warrant stating that if people come into contact with them, if authorities come into contact with him, they have the right to arrest him on this murder warrant. It says here his birth date 1990. Let's go his driver's license. He was 6 foot 2 inches tall, 172 pounds, with blue eyes, blonde hair. He has. It's unknown if he has any scars or marks. And anything like that. Let's see. Has the complaint by the police. Obviously, it has all the information regarding the police department. Um, Variables, blah blah blah. And like I said, it's going to go into this probable cause found for the above, as well as facts set forward in the attached things. So if you guys see here, we're about to kind of get into this. So trigger warning. I don't even know if I have one of those on here. Hang on, let me see. Let me see if I have a banner. Oh, I do. Sick. Okay, cool. Trigger warning, but we're gonna get into the timeline now. All right. So it says number one, based on the following statement of facts, there is probable cause to believe that Aaron Pennington, date of birth 10/13/1990, committed the crime of murder in violation of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 265, Section 1. On Sunday, October 22nd, 2023, at approximately 9:14 hours, the Gardner Police Department dispatch received a 911 call from a party who had requested assistance after her neighbor's 4 children came over to her house reporting that they could not find their father and that their mother was in her bedroom crying. The 4 children were known to reside with their parents at the address in Gardner, and the children also stated that their father's vehicle was no longer in the residence. So 1914 hours, is that 9 a.m.? I know I sound crazy, but I don't want to state it and then be totally off, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Ages 2, 5, 7, and 9, Mark. Can anyone just verify to me? Is that 9 a.m.? I would assume. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tia. Wait, what? No, that can't be right. Full Bassin. 9 09 14 hours. Wouldn't that be 9:14 a.m.? Not 19. 09:14. Throwing me for a loop here, man. If it would have been 19, it would have been 7, right? Is that right? I think so. Nope, that would have been 4. I don't know. But either way, it is at that time that the 4 children end up going over to their neighbor's house and saying, "Hey, like, can you help us? We can't find our dad. His car is gone. And our mom is in her bedroom crying," which I find this very interesting because, hey, Punksy, at this point, I believe she was deceased. So this was another aspect of this that kind of made me like, huh, what the hell were the kids hearing that they would have taken it as crying from their mom? But then I'm also wondering, was it something that they didn't necessarily see? Was it just that the door was shut, and they assumed she was crying? Had this happened before? There was just a lot more questions that had kind of gone into my head when I read that. Um, but regardless, if this happened at 9:14 a.m., which is what they're claiming, then That's what I'm that's what I'm hoping it wasn't. I'm hoping they're just assuming, like, when mom shuts the door and locks it, it's because she's crying, and I'm hoping that it's that versus them actually hearing her crying, when we actually find out what happened to her. Um, but this all potentially happens in the morning, which is crazy. So I think a lot of times we do see it happen more often at night. Or like the early hours, but not like 9:15 a.m. All right, number 3. The Gardner Police Department and Massachusetts Registry of Motor Vehicle Records indicated that their address in Gardner was occupied by 2 adults identified as Breanne Pennington, date of birth 10/27/1992, and Aaron Pennington, date of birth 10/13/1990. At approximately 9:19 hours. So if you guys look at those time differences, it only took what, 5 minutes from the beginning of the 911 call to the first responders arriving on scene. Um, so it says at approximately 9:19 hours, first responders arrived at the residence and found Breanne Pennington lying in a bed in an upstairs bedroom with obvious signs of death from an apparent gunshot wound to the head. The responding Gardner PD officers performed a protective sweep of the residence and were unable to locate anyone else inside the house or any visible weapons. Breanne Pennington was pronounced deceased inside the home by Woods ambulance paramedic Alexis Wheeler at 9:30 hours. So based on that, I believe it's morning. Um, yes. Okay. So what we found out in statement number 4 is that she was killed via a gunshot wound to the head. Um, they also stated, like I said, that there were obvious signs of death from the gunshot wound to the head. So that is one of the reasons why I couldn't understand, and I pray that the kids did not actually hear anything. Um, but you'd also have to think about the timing of this. The kids are 2, 5, 7, and 9. They're old enough to hear something and have it like be like, "Oh, what was that? I'm gonna get up and go see." They weren't in cribs. They were old enough to comprehend to a certain extent what was going on. Hey, Sleuth Mom. It's good to see you. So it then says the Gardner police. Okay, we got that one. Okay. Investigators obtained video surveillance evidence from the Pennington's neighbor, which showed Aaron Pennington exiting the driveway at the residence approximately 8:50 hours on October 22nd, 2023, in a white 2013 BMW 320 sedan that was registered to him. At 9:07 hours, the four children were observed exiting the residence and walking over to their next door neighbor's door. Um, so we now find out that he left at 8:50 a.m. and that it was approximately 17 minutes later that the kids figure out something's happening and walk over to the neighbors to ask for help. I have a question. I'm just curious. This just came to my mind. Do you guys think that people with kids like this should have a house phone? Like, I know house phones are like no longer a thing, but, like, do you think that they just know how to use cell phones and just hope that there's one there or go to a neighbor's house like they did? Or do you think a house phone would have made a difference in this? I'm just going back to thinking of, like, what if? You think so, Sally Mae? Yeah, okay, so with mom, that makes sense. I'm just curious if even, like, in emergencies, like, for at least a household that has children, like, spread out in age like that? Yeah. Huh. I was just curious. That's true. That's true. But couldn't you potentially just add a line? I'm just saying for, like, safety and peace of mind for children. You know what I mean? Knowing that you wouldn't have to worry about your kids having to find a cell phone, that there's always a house phone. Okay, so done with it, and that's kind of what my I was thinking of. Right. Exactly, Sooth Mom, and you never know too where your cell phones are gonna be, or what if a cell phone is dead or something like that. That's why I was just curious. Yeah. I got a cell phone very young, but that was because my parents were divorced, so it was always just easier to talk to both parents. Oh, is it? Interesting. Okay. All right. So we then get to number 6. Breanne Pennington was known to have a firearm in the residence for her protection. Investigators executed a search warrant at the residence and did not locate the firearm. However, they did locate 3 spent shell casings in the bedroom. So now we find out that there were 3 shots, and they found the 3 shell casings. Okay, that's full bass, and that's a good point. Just getting an additional cell phone that always stays in the same spot and is always plugged in as a potential emergency phone. No. I don't know. um, all right. That's true, full bass, and then you don't need service for 911 calls. All right. On Monday, October 23rd, 2023, an autopsy was performed on Breanne Pennington. The cause of death was determined to be gunshot wound with an S in parentheses, so gunshot wounds to the head, and the manner of death was homicide. Um, on Tuesday, so now we're going to kind of get to the part here that's kind of like, what the hell happened here? On Tuesday, October 24th, 2023, a search warrant was issued authorizing the search of certain content on Aaron Pennington's cell phone. After reviewing a limited portion of the cell phone's content, investigators learned that there was a note from 1904 hours on Saturday, October 21st, 2023. So 1904. Anyone? Anyone want to do that math for me? Oh, yes, maybe. Hang on, I'm doing it myself. Full Bassin. I think I don't know if I should believe you guys. I don't know if I should believe you or not. No offense. That's what you said last time. Okay, so 7:04 p.m., the night before this alleged murder took place, potentially. Okay, thanks, guys. He writes a note in his phone. The note is as follows: Don't say anything. Be quiet. If she wakes up, just say you're getting nasal spray. Get on side of bed, very close proximity to head. Put hole in her head. So this was something that he wrote on his own phone that he had wrote the night before um she ends up being killed. So what are your guys' thoughts on that? Merp, I didn't want to say full bass and said that last time and then Merp came in. I mean, I love you both to death, but yeah. So this was, like I said, written in his notes. Yeah. Well, right, Sleuth Mom. And that's kind of why I also potentially wanted to, and not as an excuse, but bring up his history in the military and stuff like that. But he wasn't in active combat, so I'm not exactly sure if it could play a role. But it was just something that was like, oh, kind of bookmark that for later. You know what I mean? But still, I'd be interested to see what was happening the day of, any conversations that were had with him, what their plans were that like on the 21st, and kind of so on. You know what I mean? So, well, right, but it doesn't, because technically they're saying that this didn't end up happening yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, supposedly this happened at like 7 p.m. the night before. I mean, I suppose there's a possibility that he had killed her on that night, and then it wasn't until he leaves and the kids are looking for them that they're like, "Oh, she's not here," but really it could have happened the night before, because that's 100% possible. But I think at the same time, um, that's my 3 sons kinda that was kinda my thought process. I don't know. Not that I saw, based on my searches, he didn't have a criminal record, but I'm not sure. And based on his LinkedIn, he worked on airplanes, so it wasn't like he was in active battle, you know what I mean? So that's kind of why I was confused. But then you also have to bring in the thing from the second point up above where it says that the kids potentially heard her crying that morning. It says dad left, mom's crying in her room, and dad's car's gone. Can you help us? You know, so there's definitely like a lot of questions that I'd still have about the timeline. No. All right. It says number 9, accordingly, there is probable cause to believe that on or about Sunday, October 22nd, 2023, Aaron Pennington, date of birth 10/13/1990, did commit the crime of murder upon Breanne Pennington in violation of Massachusetts general law. What is it? Something 265-1. All right. So that is literally the affidavit. So now what I'm gonna do is stop sharing this one. Once again, guys, this is linked in the description box below if you guys do want to look at it yourself. EE. What does that mean to you? Yeah, it is interesting. All right. So let me grab. Once again, I'm going to show you guys his picture here. So this is him. This is Aaron Pennington. He is still a wanted fugitive in Brienne's case. He is still missing. And I also think the thing that we have to think about here is that if the timeline of this thing is correct, he planned this out. Hi, Aries. I missed you. Hey, Nora's. Um, Not only did he plan this and execute his plan, he did all of this while his 4 children were in the house as well. And then, knowingly, after killing their mother, left them all there. So that would mean at that point in time, the 9-year-old is then in charge of a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old, which is insane. So 100% proud of those kids for being like, something's not right here. We need help. And they immediately, all 4 together, went to the neighbor's house to get help. And I think that that's incredible. So I'm going to show you guys one more picture. So here is one of the wanted posters. He has a few different license plates, vehicles, Texas, California. Like I said, they met in California, so there is a history there. And like they'd also said, they do believe that he is armed and dangerous due to the fact that she was killed with a firearm and there was not a firearm on the scene. So that's kind of what I'm going to get into. So when we get, let me grab, is it this one? Hang on. I have a few. Okay, here we go. I have this article. I'm going to take this down. All right, so this article is from CBS News Boston. And I'm just going to read bits and pieces of this. So the important part of this is that it says Worcester County District Attorney has issued a murder warrant for Aaron Pennington, the man suspected of killing his wife in their Gardner home, who is still on the run. So this was October 25th. So how many days ago was that? Hang on, I'm going to look. Maybe if I can find my calendar. So it was about 16 days ago. Unbelievable, Teresa. Get it together. Get a third arm or something. Yeah. All right, so it says Pennington, 33, hasn't been seen for 4 days since his 30-year-old wife, Breanne Pennington, was found shot to death at their house on Cherry Street Sunday morning. Investigators say they're working on the assumption that Pennington is still alive and that he is armed and dangerous. Now, we did end up coming to an instance here. So, let's see, 25th. So on the 23rd, Aries, I'm not at the accepting point of that yet. It made me throw up in my mouth when I read it. I'm not gonna lie. But anything Brewers makes me throw up in my mouth anyways. So, but on Monday, was it October 23rd? If this was put out on the 25th, then they're saying on Monday. On Monday, a bow hunter found Aaron Pennington's BMW abandoned about 3 miles from the family's home. State police have searched the 175 acres of wood at Camp Collier a Boy Scout camp in Gardner, and a few miles away in Ashburnham, where a man found a change of clothes in the woods behind his home. So there's another aspect of this that if the man potentially found a change of clothes behind his home, was this something that like was put there for that he put there himself knowing that he was going to go on the run after this, which is makes everything so much worse because then he put, you know, stuff out there to help him. It also the man who found the change of clothes behind his home in this area also said it was a Ziploc bag with rubber gloves, surgical gloves, or something in it. I thought it was a trash bag. It was a white shirt, a pair of shorts, there were socks, a pair of boxers, and there was a toothbrush. Mark Klein, I'm a huge Cubbies fan, so me and Aries always talk baseball. But that is interesting. I don't know what he's going to do with a toothbrush without toothpaste, unless whatever floats his boat. But yeah, it says the search concluded when no sign of Pennington. There was enough trails through where they found his car up in the back, said the man who found the clothing. There's nothing but trails, and this will run all the way up to New Hampshire. There's trails everywhere through here. Pennington is a military veteran, so I guess there. It says the United States Air Force told WBZ TV he served on active duty from 2015 to 2022 and left the service last February with the rank of senior airman. He was a special mission aircraft maintenance journeyman. Christy, hi. It's good to see you. Thank you again, guys, for mine and T's tumblers. They're incredible. Once again, here's another photo of him. See, but that Merp, that's kind of my thought too. You're 100% right. Does that mean that he didn't actually get the go bag, but it was out there? But then if he didn't get the go bag, why leave his car there? Like, unless the whole thing was to throw people off and be like, hey, he's out here. He's going to try and live off the land. Like, he could do it. And he's not actually. And it was just like, throwing a diversion. I don't know. That's crazy. I would assume he has more than one, though, Merp. If I'm being completely honest. If he thought of one, he would have had to have thought that there had to be a backup plan that allowed for him to have a go bag somewhere else as well. Yes. Yes, Christy, I do. And they're my favorite types of pens, too. Papermate Ink Joy Gel, they're my favorite. But, okay, so let's see. This is when we are going to get into more of the speculation of this. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, Mark. But there were some different rumors regarding their marriage. So it says here, according to court documents released Monday, which I couldn't find those court documents. So if anyone can, let me know. I was trying to search the Massachusetts thing, but their site was down. I would have had to have had a case number, and I didn't have a case number, and it was a whole thing. So it says the couple had marriage problems. Brienne Pennington was planning to move to Texas with their 4 children. And Aaron Pennington allegedly has a history of mental health issues and has attempted self-unaliving at some point. So we're getting a little bit more into what all happened leading up to this. But it says here, it goes over again kind of what happened. The children went over to the neighbor's house. Police then found her deceased with the gunshot wound to the head. The gun was not found in the home, but the police said that they found 3 spent shell casings in the bedroom. Children are now being taken care of by the Department of Children and Families. Neighbors said that they're on edge. The neighbor said we had to lock our doors the first time, and my husband took the dog out with his gun. According to it, it goes over what he had written in his notes, which we already went over. Once again, Aaron Pennington has been described by police as white, 6 feet, 2 inches tall. He weighs approximately 175 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. If you see him, call 911 immediately and do not approach. He is considered armed and dangerous. Also, once again, you guys know that domestic violence is something that I am very passionate about. There are people that I care about very much that have been affected by it, and it is something that happens way more often than it ever should. And it's insane. But here are some links here. Um, Safe link at 877-785-2020. The National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE or 1-800-799-7233. Or you can chat online with the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Once again, I do have it in my description box down below. All of the links that you'll need, and different things like that. We also do have the YWCA Domestic Violence Hotline at 844-372-9922. So just if you or anyone you know, although some of these are specific to Massachusetts, I know that SafeLink, the National Domestic Violence Hotline, the online chat, those are all throughout the country. So, hi, Aaron. But yes, okay. So let me grab. Close that one out. The more I have the ability to close things out, the faster everything starts moving. All right, so I'm gonna close that out, close that out. Let's see what else I have here. Same one. I know the police have stated that until they find a body, they're going to assume he's alive. A lot of people have contemplated whether or not he took his own life in the woods there. And then there's a lot of people also that have considered whether or not he purposely made it look like that and didn't, you know? All right, so let me see what else we got up here. We have, that's one of the ones that we read. Just making sure I don't miss anything before we get to the maps. Once again, he has not been found. He is still out there, considered armed and dangerous. Let's see. You think so? Sweet Mom, I think it's gonna end up being a toss up depending on his reasoning behind it. So no matter what his reasoning is, it's not obviously, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Justifiable, obviously. You don't kill someone regardless of a reason. You just don't. But I think if it ends up being some type of mental health thing and he didn't realize what he was doing until it was done, I think there's a higher probability that if he's still in the right mind and not back into the mental health spiral, that there is a possibility he took his own life in the woods. But I also think that if this is something that was more premeditated, I do think that there's a chance that he's setting everyone up to think he's in the woods and he's not there. And like we had said before, he is familiar with many different states across the country, from Arizona to California to some states in the Midwest. And so there's definitely a lot of places that he's familiar enough with. And I know that some of her family has stated they believe that if he were to flee somewhere, that he would go back to California where they first met. But obviously, it's not. No one knows. He's still out there. He's still missing. So I have Probituary, which was beautiful. You can send flowers, plant a tree, or send a card. That is also linked in the description box down below. And okay, so let's bring up Google Earth. There's not a ton here just because there's not a ton of locations. But I did want to give you guys the general vicinity just in case you guys are in the area, know people in the area. You can make sure that everyone is aware of what's happening. All right, so you guys can see the entirety of Massachusetts here. Boston over on the right. Can you guys see my mouse when I do this, by the way? Just curious. I think so. Maybe not. I don't know. Can you guys see my mouse when I do this? No. Thanks, Merp. Oh, yes. No mouse. Yes, mouse. Okay, well, either or. Um, all right. So if you guys see here, we have Boston, Massachusetts right here. Um, Springfield. You guys look up Manchester. That's what is that? New Hampshire? Okay, sweet. We have three locations. So I have the entire city of Gardner, which we'll zoom in a little. That's not in, that's out. Dudes, I don't know if I can do this. This drives me freaking nuts. Ugh. All right. So you guys will see here, it's quite a big city. Um, um, you guys will see it outlined in red. There we go. And you guys can kind of see where my little thingies are for where the locations are. So the red outline, as well as the center one in here, is just Gardner, Massachusetts. So this is where um, this situation took place. They lived in Gardner. Their home was in Gardner. I will show you guys the Pennington home. They just live in the suburbs here. Lots of houses around too, which is crazy. When you think about the potential for someone murdering someone, um, you never assume that it's going to be your neighbor that lives in residential neighborhood. You know what I mean? Um, so we're then going to back it up a little because right outside of Gardner is where they end up finding his vehicle. So Camp Collier is up here. So you guys will see this is a very large area. Camp Collier is right here. This is the Boy Scout camp. They also said that they had searched this wildlife management area. But as you guys can see, just based on all of this, it's so much foliage. There's so many trees, no houses. It's all woods, and it looks to be very dense woods. Let's see if we can get any roads around here. Probably not. I wanted one a little closer. Nope, it looks like the closest road that we're going to be able to get is this one over here. But I wonder if we just like click randomly in the road, if it'll show us just how dense it is. Well, yeah, shit. Look at that. Super dense wood, Aaron. I actually I actually heard he would, Aaron, so hit him up. It is. It looks beautiful. But can you guys imagine the amount of what did they say it was? Like 700 something acres? And it's all this dense forestry, like what they'd be looking for, especially in someone who has the ability to make their way through this. You know what I mean? It is. Well, well, Merp, except for he's not a leprechaun like Cavalcante was. He's 6'2". So You're okay, Tia. Okay, so that's the other thing, Mark. I'm glad you brought that up. I am it was stated that the police did bring cadaver dogs out there and there was no scent picked up regarding any deceased bodies. Um, so based upon the areas that they have searched, no cadaver dogs actually hit on any human remains anywhere. So not only did they bring those dogs in, they supposedly had brought in the other dogs as well, just the tracking dogs, and those also never found a scent from the car. So that's why I'm very curious because not only did they not find a scent of him living, there was also no scent found of him dying either in this area. Um, and I know that they had utilized all of their resources that they could for this. Yeah, yeah. And I know deer hunting just started here. Does it start the same everywhere? Or is it state by state? I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. But I don't know. I do find it interesting. I hadn't actually looked at the street view of this, but it's much denser than I was expecting it to be. But that's crazy. Huh. Huh. But so yeah, that's pretty much it. In regards to the information that we have, I hope you guys did have the ability to get to know Brienne, Breezy, Pennington a little bit more. Know that she unfortunately left behind four beautiful children and that the monster who is supposed to have done this is still out there, considered armed and dangerous in the Massachusetts area. Um, I do have a few things that I want to share with you guys before I end it. Um, two different, well, one's a GoFundMe, so not for me, not for me, but um, for Brienne's children. Let me grab that. This is was started by Brienne's uncle, and it is for her children. It is linked in the description box down below. Um, they do have a goal of $100,000, which, when raising four children, is the least that people could do. You know what I mean? And they've only raised about 12,000 of it so far. So, um, I'll kind of read this to you guys. And then, like I said, the link is down in the description box below the video for you guys to be able to, if you do feel inclined enough to leave a donation. Every dollar counts. Um, but even if you want to just leave something in the chat book there, just as a kind word to leave to her family. I mean, at this point, I think they'll take anything. Um, it says Breezy Pennington. Like I told you guys, most people did call her Breezy. Was taken from us on October 22nd, 2023. It says, "Hi, my name is Jeff and I am Breezy's uncle. As an extended family, we are trying to plan for the future of her four children. We are trying to create a loving home for them. Please help us provide for their physical, emotional, and educational needs as they recover from this traumatic event." So, as I told you guys before, she had four children, aged 2, 5, 7, and 9, mixtures of boys and girls. And at this point, I believe they're still with child services. Um, but I think the family is doing what they can to be able to give them a safe and secure home. I also think that them being with child services also has a lot to do with the fact that their father, who killed their mother, potentially, allegedly, is still out there and he's armed and dangerous. So if he was willing to kill her in their own home with their kids there, like, what else is he willing to do? So I almost wonder if being with them as just more of a protective aspect at this point as well. Um, but yeah. Yeah, Mark Klein, I think too, in a lot of ways, with red tape when it comes to police, that there's a lot more to it, like things they can and can't do that is automatic versus, um, if you're just going by on a four wheeler, you have the ability to push the limit and look in a place that the police may not have had access to or something along those lines. You know what I mean? Correct, Mark. You're 100% correct. Well, and the thing is too is it's not likely that the police necessarily are aware and are super familiar with that area as well. I mean, if you can imagine someone that goes in there to go hunting or well, the only thing about it is that it is a wildlife management area, so I doubt it's hunting land, but then you'd have to say the people that are going in there to manage the wildlife, it would make sense that they would be quite familiar with the land or at least know, hey, there's a spot in here that someone could be hiding in this cave, or there's an indent in the ground here that could be a good hiding spot when people walk past. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely people who are not police that have the ability to be more familiar with the area to be able to do a more thorough search, even though the police are doing everything that they can with all the stuff that they have. But okay, so stop sharing that one. Like I said, if you guys do feel so inclined, the link is down below. Um, they've only done a little sliver of their goal. Um, I do believe at the end of this month, with this month's extra money, I don't know how much it's going to be because we're just babies in this whole money side of YouTube. But I do want to not only make a donation to the Pennington children, um, but I do think we as a group and a family over here on my channel will also be buying something from the Rachel Morin's children's um wish list. So give me just a second. I'm gonna go get LFTs. Donde está? Oh, thank you. Okay. So as of this point, um, those of you guys who did not follow the Rachel Morin case, Rachel Morin is out of Maryland. She was killed on the Mon Pa Trail in Bel Air, Maryland. Um, she has 5 children, and it's been a very, very tough time for her children. If you guys do want to get more into the Rachel Morin case, go follow the Decipher podcast. TNLFT are very, very close to Rachel Morin's family. They're very, I think they're doing an incredible job with covering Rachel's case. But I do want to do what I can to assist in that. So I'm going to show this, and then as I bring it up here, I'm also going to drop it in chat. So let me make sure it's up. But if you guys see here, this is a link tree, and the link tree, um, Mark Klein, who? Him? Not that I know of. It's just so missing. There's been nothing since they found his car. Nope, nothing. All right, hang on. Where am I? Here we go. All right, so as you guys see here, these are the wish lists for Rachel's children. She has 5 children. She's an 18-year-old, a 13-year-old, 11-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 7-year-old. These are their wish lists. So in this wish list, you are going to find gifts. Christmas is coming up. It is the first Christmas without their mother. Birthdays are coming up without their mother, but not only that, they also have to just, continue on with life, whatever that looks like after you lose your mom in this way. There's a lot of things that are just everyday essentials that the kids are in need of. And that's all on these lists. Let me grab the link. I'm going to throw it in chat here. I will also put it in the description box after the live. So that way it is available there. But I do think I want to try to buy at least one thing per list. And that's the thing too, guys. It's not like they're asking for $800 cell phones. This is things like a pair of shoes or a notebook for school or something like that, where it's things that they actually need. So I just think that's really important. So like I said, there's that. Once again, if you guys want to donate to either the Pennington children or to the Morin children, both will be linked down below after the live. And I'm going to put up quick the pictures once again of Aaron Pennington. This is Aaron Pennington. Thank you, Angie. I appreciate that. That's what I'm trying to do. Nope. I don't make anything from it. I don't plan to. It goes towards my YouTube expenses, and then extras will be anything that I can help families in any way. But once again, guys, this is Aaron Pennington. He is currently wanted. He is a fugitive for the murder of his wife, Breanne Breezy Pennington. And just if you guys, this all occurred in the Massachusetts area, but he is known in Arizona, California, and could be pretty much anywhere at this point. Like I said, it's been 16 days it's been 18 days. So almost 3 full weeks. And there's been no sign of him since they found his car. So just, I want to make sure that everyone is aware. If you're in the area, share this live, share his picture. And I will keep you guys updated with this. Hi, butterfly kisses. I'll keep you guys updated with this. I don't know when I'll be live again. I'm sure it'll be some point. I'll keep you guys updated with Maddie's special that will be airing next week. And what else? What else off the top of my head? Make sure that you guys subscribe to Teresa at Criminality, TNLFT at the Decipher podcast. Alex Erickson was in here. And thank you to my mods. You guys know I love you guys. Hopefully we're back on a regular schedule now, coming up here soon. We're still working on the Sherry Orofino case, which is the case from back in the 80s. So, yeah. But I will keep you guys updated. Once again, check my community posts. A lot of times I'll put updates on there. You guys can follow me on Twitter. I retweet a lot on Twitter. And find me pretty much anywhere else. Just type in my name. So I do have an outro, but it's my outro for Maddie, but it still has the domestic violence numbers on there. So I will probably still play it, but if it says for Maddie, it's just because that's my Maddie outro. But it does have the domestic violence hotlines and such on it. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for taking the time to listen to Breezy's case, getting to know her a little bit as a person. And now hopefully you guys will be able to, carry a piece of her in your hearts, and also keep your eye out for Aaron and the updates in this case, because what he did, he needs to be held accountable for. So, well, thank you guys. Stay safe, stay kind. Don't give in to the bullshit that's YouTube. Tell you that 100%, not worth it. It's not what we're all here for. So yeah, but I will do the outro, and then I will see you guys soon. Bye, 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 bye.